People are always saying, life's a beach. But when you entered mine, the shoreline turned into a forest. And I tried to be a sequoia. How I admire them so. Majestic, dignified, perhaps noble, strong, sturdy, and supportive, bearing the praises of ancient, incomprehensible beings. The problem, however, lies in the fact that it's so exhausting to be the only upright trunk while you hung from my branches, gently grasping at my leaves, delicately blooming, flowering as I watered the both of us with my only pail. Your wicked inquiries and wayward compliments wasted my emotions, expected me to traverse entire planets instantaneously to satiate your carnal attitude. Head buried in the sand, you couldn't bring yourself to move micrometers, and yet somehow you infested the sod amongst my roots. An invasive species you'd become, like the hive mind of worms, weaving tunnels in the dirt, carving out a grave to sink me under and entomb my casket. I labored to cultivate while you spurned flora and fauna from the would-be habitats of a famine-stricken field. You'd sown calamity, plague in a pestilent land, the acrid stench of your body rotting from the inside out, atrophying, dissolving within you, feeding on itself as if there's nothing left to eat. Nutrition be damned. And if you refuse to consume my love, then go on and swallow your disease. It's not you, it's me, but the ghost of you stays hot on my tracks, ground to the ears of a silent specter I swore couldn't follow me. 545 miles away from so much pain, grief and strife, where a desperate individual thrust me into existence, and I'm doing so well now. I've planted myself in soil, surveyed and accounted for a prosperous soul. For the very first time, I can finally say that I love where I reside. There is earth to inspect and wind to listen to, plants to wonder at and fellow trees to photograph, parks and trails to run and timber within me to mold. I am loved by those who feed my fibers. I have grown into something so much bigger than just to take care of you. I may have circulation problems, but my xylem has not stopped flowing yet. And I don't just mean physically. The very same fervor that cascades through the veins of an impassioned Southern Baptist preacher now resonates throughout my entire being, with a belief that in everything I do, I am okay. And I will never not be until I am pushed through a wood chipper. And even then, I will be rebirthed, repurposed, and renewed to be planted elsewhere or furnished into something that will uphold those who I dedicate my legacy. And in spite of all of this, considering everything I hold in contempt of you, I must reluctantly admit that the truth is, you taught me more about loving than anyone else ever has. And for that, I cannot fault you. You had to beat it into me, but now I am prepared to love whoever else, and not to mention myself, that much more completely. I am no longer concerned with bringing you to justice. I just want to be done here. And I want to be able to hope that you're doing well. I can no longer handle these axes swinging into my stomach at the thought of you, your memories and remembrance. So here is my plea, my resignation letter written on compost, where I lay my limbs down to rest, and we can finally coexist, truly dialectic. And I suppose that maybe this world really is big enough for the both of us. So long as you stay on your side, and I'll stay on mine. Promise. And then I have just one more. This is called Children of Yggdrasil. This is the one that I have scenes of. And they're totally free. Take one if you want. I have like 8 or 9. And this one is about reconciling my mommy issues with my love of Mother Nature. So again, this is called Children of Yggdrasil, and also just to preface, Yggdrasil is basically in Norse mythology, it is the tree of life. For the longest time, I felt like an ungrateful child, because growing up, I always had toys, clothes, bed, and a backyard, and I never physically starved. But I've never been able to write a decent poem about my mom. And I think I'm realizing now that this whole time, I've been trying to write about the wrong mother. See, one of the core memories from my childhood was at my grandmother's house. My mom walked through the front door, and I got so excited. I screamed and ran to hug her, only for her to brush me aside, telling me that I was too old to be acting like that anymore. But I swear to God what she would give for me to do that today. Now that I'm no longer home and no longer homegrown, her bloodline never really gave me any life. She never planted me or my emotions in her garden. I was forced to develop my own green thumb, learn to foster my own emotional well-being, and truly I tell you, I've actually traced my lineage far back enough to find that my cousins are the roses. My aunt was a Venus flytrap. My great-great-grandmother's great-great-grandmother was a shrubbery. My brothers are made out of coral, and the trees are my kinfolk. And one of the most important things they've all taught me is that I am a natural being. And therefore, whenever I love nature, I am loving myself. Going outside is one of the best decisions I have ever made. One of the core memories from my adulthood was sitting down on a trail and listening to the wind translate for me the ancient language of the mountains. They told me, thank God you are here. Nature is one mother whose love I've never had to fight for. Her attention is infinite. The breadth of her warm, wide open arms is never further away than the thickness of a blade of grass. As soon as I leave my doorstep, she is ready for conversation. Day or night, she will engage with my every aspect of my emotional range. Watering buds of happiness and culling those of despair. A choir of tulips softly serenading me. The everlasting dance between the trees and my lungs exchanging molecules, quite literally breathing new life into me each moment that I am alive. The whimsy of their happy little leaves frolicking inside of my chest, tickling my bosom. She yearns for me in ways no human ever could. A stronger parental connection does not exist. We are all children of Yggdrasil, each of us laying claim to a shimmering branch on the tree of life, and I'll be damned if I let anyone prune mine before I wither away. The same life force that saturates the flora and the fauna and is indeed well contained within this beautiful mistake we call reality beats inside of me to the rhythms imbued by the vibrations of the very particles used to construct me. And they long to return from whence they came, the singularity. Whenever again shall we be separated from Mother Nature's deepest embrace, but until then, please hear my cry, sweet mother. Anytime you should need to, you can find me amongst the brush, trying to cultivate an attachment without also being anxious. And maybe one day, I too can be mother.
Hell
Please
yeah.
give it up one more time for Hayley. And please, when you see Hayley, get a free zine. They are free. Please, please, please.